Salam to everyone. My daughter-in-law, Rani Rab, is going to take my interview about my book.
Welcome everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Today we're introducing my father-in-law's book, Dr. Abdur Rab's book, Exploring Islam in a New Light. You have written a book on Islam, and its length and content suggest that you have put a lot of effort into it. Also, I see the book has received acclaim from several noted Islamic scholars. Let me read about some of the reviews. The first one is Khalid Abu al-Fadl, Chair of Islamic Studies, Alfi, Distinguished Professor of Islamic Law, UCLA School of Law, writes, "This is a surprising, inspiring, and ultimately refreshing book. It is simultaneously a solid introduction to Islam, an ecstatic spiritual journey, and an analytical call for reform. Abdur Rab is not only a reliable and authoritative voice on modern Islam, but he is an original and thrilling thinker. This is one book that is definitely well worth the time, investment, and indeed it should be read widely by Muslims and non-Muslims alike." Another scholar has written, Riza Aslan, Professor of Creative Writing, University of California, Riverside, author of No God But God, The Origins, Evolution, and Future of Islam, notes, "At a time when misconceptions about Islam are on the rise, even among Muslims, Abdur Rab has provided a compelling argument for returning to the Quran for a deeper, more complete, more original understanding of the meaning and message of Islam. The result is a book that posits not a new interpretation of Islam, but a more authentic one." Yet another scholar writes, Edip Yüksel, author of Manifesto for Islamic Reform, a champion of Quran-only movement in modern Islam, writes, "This is another valuable addition to a list of books that question the sectarian teachings. It is a scholarly contribution to the message of Quran alone, or rational monotheism movement." And yet, another scholar writes, Khalil Muhammad, Professor of Religious Studies at San Diego State University, notes, "This is a thoughtful, wonderful book that is constructively revolutionary." Dr. Rab, what is the title of your book and its major subject matter, and what prompted you to write this book?
Thank you, Rani. The title of the book is Exploring Islam in a New Light, a view from the Quranic perspective. Actually, this is the second revised edition published by the Brainbow Press through the courtesy of my friend Edip Yüksel. You may note two expressions in the title, Quranic perspective and New Light. Both are indicative of the content of the book. Quranic perspective because the book provides a comprehensive introduction to Islam on the basis of the Quran alone. And New Light because it gives a meaning of Islam that differs significantly from the conventional, traditional interpretation of Islam. Also, it tries to respond to social and economic challenges of modern time. A second major part of the book contains a close scrutiny of the Hadith. The contention of my book is, in a nutshell, is that we should understand genuine Islam through the lens of the Quran itself. The Quran provides a complete guidance for humankind. Islam came with the Quran and it was perfected by the Quran. It does not leave untouched for us anything of religious significance. It gives us even minutest details of etiquette, decency, and decorum with which we should conduct ourselves with others. The Quran states, our Prophet's duty was only to deliver the Quran. He was asked by God not to explain it, as God took on himself the burden of explaining. Our Prophet and we have been urged to follow the Quran alone and to judge by it alone. The Hadith, instead of being a complement to the Quran, is a major source of misguidance in Islam. What prompted me to write this book? My inspiration for this book comes from my teacher Shah Aksaruddin Ahmed, who struggled during his lifetime to present Quran-based ideas, discarding and denouncing the Hadith as a major distraction from the path of the Quran. My book represents a modest effort to carry forward his unfinished mission of spreading the message that Muslims should depend on the Quran alone for religious guidance and avoid the Hadith.
And in a nutshell, what are the major themes of your book?
As I said, I try to present a detailed account of Islam through the lens of the Quran itself. This is a unique effort since there is no such detailed work currently available in the market. I focus mainly on the moral, humane, and spiritual teachings of Islam. It shows that Islam, seen through the perspective of the Quran itself, is a peaceful, tolerant, humane, egalitarian, and progressive religion, far removed from a fanatic, misogynistic, and militant image it carries in the West. I first provide an introduction to the Quran itself. Why is it so important for us to read and follow it? What are its characteristic features, and what factors specially lend support to its divine status? And what is the nature of its message? The Quran excels in eloquence, profundity, internal coherence, stress on reason, and scientific orientation, in simplicity and clarity, and above all, its uniquely equal appeal to people of all strata. My book describes Islam in a way that makes its spirituality an essential, integral part of religion. Most Muslims, excluding those who believe in Sufism or its like, and also spiritual teachers such as Eckhart Tolle and Deepak Chopra, rule out spirituality as part of religion. I think, on the other hand, that spirituality is the essence or heart and soul of religion. Religion is barren without spirituality. One Quranic verse states that the Quran has been revealed to purify and civilize humankind and teach it knowledge. This is a spiritual message to us.